getting more traffic to your site is a part of attracting the right type of prospects that want to work with you. And so today on the show, we're going to talk about how to make your website attractive to Google and also your prospective customers. And I'm just going to share with you what I've learned over a couple decades of doing search engine optimization. So I can explain to you things that you can keep in mind that will really help elevate your site, get you more search, and ultimately get you more customers. So stay tuned and I'll share this with you. So if we think about what Google's job is, or what their product that they deliver to their customers is delivering the best answer to the searcher, the customer of Google, and delivering really relevant, useful information. And whether somebody's searching for how to fix something or where to travel or how to solve a specific problem or, how to hire this type of person or learning new coaching skills or whatever it might be, when somebody opens their phone and searches in Google, Google's job is to provide the best answer to their question possible as fast as possible. And so if we realize that that's Google's job to provide the best answer to their customer, the person searching for an answer or result, then our job is to make Google's job as easy as possible and make it really useful, make it full of good information, and make it something that Google would say, oh, this is a great site to answer their customer's problem, who ultimately can become your customer as well. And so when we think about that, it allows us to not get too deep in the weeds with technical SEO, which are good things to know, and those can move the needle at some level. Those are things that any good SEO company will do for you, as we do for our clients. But when you step back from the technical SEO and you just start to think, okay, what are the questions that I've been asked by prospects, by clients? What do I see, my audience asking, out in forums and groups, other things that they're other places where they're talking? What do I see they're asking? And how can I give the absolute best, most thorough answer to those questions? That's the mindset that we need to take, because that's what will allow our site to be useful to our prospects who are searching. And Google will also see that, because they'll see the content that you're creating there that really answers questions. And they also pay attention to when somebody searches for something, if they click to your site and then they stay there for a few minutes and they look at multiple pages, Google knows, oh, we delivered the right website to our customer, the person searching, because they spent a lot of time there. What you don't want to have happen is you don't want somebody to see your page or your site or a page on your site in search results, click it, and then bounce away and leave right away. People bounce away for a couple reasons. One of the bigger reasons, the second thing to really pay attention to in today's episode, is when your site speed is not fast enough, then people think, they're like, oh, the internet must not be working, I'm just going to go back, or this site isn't loading fast enough, so I'm going to hit the back button, or I have to wait for some video to load, or whatever it is. People are not interested in waiting more than a second, two tops, literally 1 second or two tops. So if your site loads very quickly, especially on mobile, but on all devices, then you're creating a better experience for Google's customer who's searching for an answer. And even if you have the best possible content on your site around that answer, it's only going to show up and work if your site is loading quickly, it's loading fast enough, you have good hosting, you have your code optimized, because then people will see the result in the search engine, they'll click through, instantly it loads, and then they can start digesting the information. And so making sure that your site loads very quickly is key, because again, people will bounce off of it if it's loading too slow. Or Google won't even show your website in search results, because they've already seen when they crawled it with their software that the site doesn't load quick enough to be up to standards for the people that are trying to find answers. So that's something that's really important to pay attention to. The third thing to look at as you want to make your website more attractive to Google and specifically to your prospective customers as well, is make sure that you become the authority on your key services. So if you're offering a product or a service or whatever, everything you do, make sure that the content on your site is exhaustive and thorough and useful and explains front to back, from the beginning of the buyer's journey of here. If you're considering using our services or using services in our industry, here's the things to think about. Here's, the checklist you should have. Here's the information you should have written down. Here's what you should be thinking about. Here's how to screen qualified providers for what you're looking for. You can start at the beginning of the customer journey, the buyer's journey, and you can make sure that you answer things you should be thinking about. And then when you're ready to select a provider for this, again, here's criteria, or here's to think through, or here's how to have effective meetings. And then when you choose to work with somebody in our industry, here's the things you should expect. Here's how we operate in our business to make sure you get the best result and the best customer experience. And then if challenges are going to come up, which they do in all spaces, how should you resolve challenges? How should you communicate about those? When you really go at that deep level and create multiple pieces of content that really inform your prospective customer, your existing customer, and even inform how you're going to resolve things when there are challenges, that's what is going to make your site really stand out compared to competitors, because Google will be able to see, oh, they have just a huge amount of content. They're truly an authority on this topic. And so it's going to solve the searcher's problem, the customer of Google. They're going to send them to your site, and they're going to be able to digest a bunch of good information. They're going to be able to read additional articles. And taking that mindset and approach, like we've talked about a little bit this week, of creating content that answers questions and solve the problems for your audience, that is the simplest way to not only honor the search engines, which are just doing the same job you should be doing, of coming up with the best answers for the questions that people have in your space and in your industry. So instead of thinking like you have to write a certain way, or you have to be like this company or this writer, or there's all these technical things you don't know, focus on what you do know. And that is, if you have been in business for any period of time and you've served customers and helped them be successful, then you can think through the questions they've asked. You can look up those questions, and you can really focus on just writing in your own words, clearly answering questions, and being as transparent as possible. Because in doing that, you solve, again, both the problems of making sure that Google likes your site and your content, because it will see that people enjoy your content. And then your prospective customers and folks that do come to the site will truly get their answers, handled. They'll get their problems solved. They'll be in a position where they're like, man, I really trust this company because they clearly know what they're doing, and they're willing to share information and educate me. And all of us as consumers these days have so much information at our fingertips that to win a new customer, to win new business, it's important that we show up and educate more than our competitors. So I hope that's useful today. If you need help creating content, we have multiple different programs and processes that we use with our clients to help them create consistent content that is in their voice and style and attracts the right customers. And of course, on top of that, we can also help you drive the right traffic so you can get more leads and more business there. But if you need any help with that, we'd love to serve you. You can reach out at businessmarketingengine.com, and I look forward to seeing you on tomorrow's show.